from the Communist Party, our candidate, Gennady Zyganov. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, after that racist rant, I hope to bring a bit of sanity and rationale to the whole procedure. So comrades, welcome. The time for change is upon us. Our once proud nation is reduced to a mere laughing stock. Our government is incapable and unwilling to support us and has left us to the global marketplace and what comes with that. There is no way forward under the current government. This is not the perestroika that Gorbachev once promised. Unity has given us this ruthless economy which favours oligarchs and criminals. It taunts the centuries of Russian tradition, of community sharing. Hard-working families are starving and suffering while oligarchs live in luxury. The state may wish to form us into capitalist consumers, but the people know their priorities. Our citizens are not apt stock market gamblers. We traded our shares for vodka, though that, I must admit, is quite a good exchange. It isn't the point. The system is not for Russia, so we are not for it. Not only is the system merciless, it's currently in a state of chaos. Already we are beginning to feel the effects of the global credit crunch. The oil money on which Putin and Unity built their false economy is running out, and Russia is beginning to suffer. As always, the working man, our fellow comrade, is made to feel the effects. Unity, with its one policy of pro-presidentialism, offers no feasible answers to the right problems throughout this once great nation. We question this united Russia. Our borders are shrinking, our government bombs its own people, assassinates members of the media. Every year, a million citizens leave the country. Why? This nation is anything but united. It is broken. However, I offer you an alternative, comrades. We communists brought down one Tsar, and we will do it again. It was communism that made Russia strong, powerful and dominant, that in mere decades transformed our motherland from a present-infested economy to a nation that put the first man in space, won the Civil War, won the Second World War, and rid the world of Hitler. We are not, however, proposing a return to Stalinism. We have learned from our mistakes of the past. The modern Communist Party seeks a third way, between the strong governance and the exploitation of free market capitalism. We are new communists, for a new age, for new people, for a new society. We believe that the state exists to serve the people, not the people for the state. We communists know better than anyone else the perils of bloated bureaucracy and government downfalls, but we now have the answers. We will take the land back for the people, its rightful owners. We will make the factories serve the good of the people. We will guarantee a fair wage for the working man, fair prices for utilities, fair taxation for all, and an increased standard of living. Russia has all the resources it needs to make itself powerful once more, but it needs those resources by a government who cares for the people and understands governance. We believe in economic reform. In power, we will subsidise and boost the domestic markets. Russia cannot support itself as long as its resources are drained by foreign intervention and elitist governance. But we can dominate as a global actor if these resources are used correctly. We believe in regional power. Our government in Moscow cares little for regions, treating them as colonies, but we will reinstate fair elections for federal governors and grant them the crucial money needed to serve their people. We believe in a powerful army and in free and fair independent courts. We believe in restoring the union, bringing the people of Ukraine and Belarus back to their motherland. Together we can work better for the Soviet people. We wish to bring Russia back to its rightful position of power and respect on the international stage, instead of being mocked as a decaying state run by the crooks of unity. Those in power are scared of us. They know the Communist Party represents the true voice of the Russian people. If they really represented the will of the people, they would not need to rig votes, to bar dissent in the media, to set up puppet parties designed to steal our support, and already we have seen this pointless propaganda put upon us. Despite all their attempts to undermine us and eradicate us, we remain the second most powerful party in the Duma. 5 million party signatures tells its own story. The current government know that we are the only credible challenge. They fear that we are capable of exposing their treachery and deceit. The Russian man has been humiliated and labelled, isolated from culture and power, turned into a foreigner in his own homeland. The ordinary citizen is at the mercy of the oligarchs and of a self-serving government, denied a voice, denied dignity or identity. We must make a change today, and that change comes through the Communist Party. Thank you, comrades.
The next candidate will be from the Yabloko Party, Sergei Mitrikin.
Good afternoon. I stand before you today urging you to make a choice, the choice to free yourselves from authoritarianism. We are the Yabloko Party, and we stand for dignity, honesty and justice. We are the only real democratic choice, and therefore the only hope for this great country. But only with your support can we restore democracy and bring Russia to greatness. We believe this is the only way. If you vote for Yabloko, we promise to make Russia a democratic, law-based social state, with a civilized market and a strong civil society. We promise to build a new Russian civil society and law-based state on the principles which are so important to us, and to you all, I'm sure. These principles are freedom, responsibility, equal opportunity, social justice, and tolerance. Yabloko believe in the supremacy of the Russian constitutional democracy. We would guarantee the rights of every individual citizen, so that no longer ethnic minorities need fear. We would protect everyone because we believe everyone deserves their human rights. In addition, Yabloko wishes to create an efficient, socially oriented market economy, as well as a system of state authority which, instead of terrorizing its people, we would protect them, because that's what we believe the state is for. All citizens have the right to life, freedom and security. This is what Yabloko believe. Rather than the system we have at present, which, through a corrupt elite relinquishing their power over millions of innocent and suffering Russians. You cannot let this continue, and it is in your power to stop it. Remember, people of Russia, you have a choice. Yabloko wants to give you back your freedom, your rights, which have been taken away from you for too long. Putin, Medvedev and his KGB thugs are too authoritarian. We know this. They're too controlling, and yet the state is out of control. It's unstable. So this begs the question of who benefits from this authoritarianism. It's certainly not the people of Russia. But you can change this. Like I said, we're the only democratic choice. You've got to vote for us if you want to free yourselves from these people. This country, as I've said, the press is restricted among other things by these autocrats. And we believe truth is necessary for democracy. We're the only party telling the truth. We're the only party willing to let you hear the truth, because we believe with this comes power. And the power of Russia belongs to its people. Since we are the only party to offer you true democracy, we urge you to vote for us and free yourselves from the autocratic, authoritarian, brutal beasts, whose only objection is to remain in power at whatever costs, and support a Prime Minister who has all but removed Russian democracy, whatever the propaganda says. He's run this great country into the ground. We want to bring it back. Russia is too great a country, with too rich a history and too noble a people to let this continue. Putin and Medvedev must go. Yabloko must fight for Russia's freedom. We're the only ones who can, and the only ones willing to. In terms of Yabloko's social policy, we want to give each citizen a worthy pension and share the wealth of this great country, because there's a lot of wealth and it's in the wrong hands at the moment. We wish to increase spending on healthcare, to improve hospitals, and encourage people to start having families again, to breed more of these great Russian people. Yabloko wants to improve education by way of a radical modernisation of the education system. I can guarantee that your quality of life and standards of living throughout Russia as a whole would improve under the power of Yabloko. That is what we stand for. We want to protect the people and give them a better life. Surely that's the only thing that matters. As regards Yabloko's economic policy, which is very important in the current climate, we are suffering, and it's not our fault, but it can change, and it's up to us to make that change. We would ensure the international competitiveness of Russia's goods and services. We would ensure economic growth rates are exceeding growth rates of the world, because Russia